Have you ever asked yourselves, did they actually send monkeys to space? Then you're in the right place, because it's time for another Smorgasborg where we answer that exact question. So, without no further ado, Smorgasborg for you! Yeah! It's been a while. It's January, mid-January, you know, maybe I took a little bit too long of a holidays, but December's gone, 2021 is here, and we are ready for some more YouTube videos. With no further ado, science time. Let's talk about monkeys going to space. So, for anybody who hasn't heard about this, it's quite actually extraordinary. They sent monkeys to space before they sent people, and it turns out that there's an entire legacy of monkeys called Albert, who dedicated their lives and time to basically making space travel possible. I'm not going to waste any more time. This is a dramatic reading of the history of monkeys going to space in the United States of America, aka called the Saga of Albert. So, let's go here. The first astronaut was Albert the monkey, aka the first, who on June 11th, 1948 rode to over 63 kilometers on a V2 rocket. Dun, dun, dun. This guy's going to space, but he didn't make space, technically, scientifically talking, and unfortunately, Albert died during the flight. I believe he suffocated is the terms that they use in the Wiki document. But lo and behold, there's somebody in the ranks willing to take up the thing, and that's right, so now Albert II steps up to the plate and he says, you know what, I'm taking on space. And so he jumps in his V2 rocket and he flies and he survives the flight. And he's the first monkey to ever make it into space. But lo and behold, on his way back in from the atmosphere, this guy literally dies on impact after his parachute fails, which this is going to be a common thread amongst the death of Alberts. It's not the fact that they made it to the extraterrestrial world of space. It's the fact that these primates, parachutes kept failing. So we move on to Albert III, who died at 35,000 feet. So this guy made it even further than the second, but he died in an explosion of his V2 rocket. So lo and behold, Albert IV steps up in his V2 rocket. And guess what, guys? Can you guess what happened? He made it even further into space, but guess what happened? Guess what happened, gang? He died when his parachute didn't work. This marks the second death from a parachute failure to one of the Albert monkeys. But you know what? This man, they stepped up. They're making it further and further every time. The Alberts are standing strong. So then they move on and they say, you know what? Maybe these V2 rockets aren't the best. It's not the parachute's fault. It's the V2 rockets. And so then they move on to the Aero B rockets. This is personally one of my favorite lines. It says, on April 18th, 1951, a monkey possibly called Albert V. This poor Albert didn't even get the actual name Albert attached to him. That's right, he just got called possibly Albert. That's even worse. And guess what he died from? A parachute failure. Now we got 3 dead Alberts because their parachutes weren't working. But lo and behold, there's more Alberts in the ranks. So Yorick, also called Albert VI, come along, and he had 11 mouse friends on his little rocket ship, and they made this shit up to 236,000 feet, and they survived the landing, making them the first monkeys and mouse from America to make it back, but they died 2 hours later. So this whole document is just juxtaposing great technological feats in space, followed by death of the Alberts. On December 13th, 1958, Gordo, also known as Old Reliable, a squirrel monkey, survived being launched aboard Jupiter AM-13 by the U.S. Army. And guess what he was killed from, guys? I'll give you one guess. One guess, and you can't make this stuff up. This is right here taken from a Wikipedia document. That's right. Gordo, also known as Old Reliable, died because of his parachute recovery system in the nose rocket's cone had mechanical failure, making it so that 4 of the 7 died from parachute failure. Takes us on to May 28th, 1959, aboard Jupiter AM-18, Abel and Miss Baker, a squirrel monkey, and these two got even further. That's right, they made it to 38 Gs, and they 16,000 kilometers, and they made it into space, and these two were the first to actually survive it. These guys, they got back, and they had their feet firmly planted on the Earth. All right, no problems, nothing wrong there. Abel, unfortunately, though, I believe it says, Abel died June 1st, so a couple months later, while undergoing surgery to remove an infected medical electrode. from the anesthesia they gave him, so he didn't quite make it. But Baker became the first monkey to survive the stresses of space, quoted here from Wikipedia. So Baker was the first one to survive, lived to a healthy age of 27, and is now buried on the grounds of the United States Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. And Abel, the other one that was on the trip, well, he's preserved and now displayed proudly at a museum. So that is the history of the Alberts. I have no idea why this has never been taught in a history class. There's a lot of things we learn in history that are important, but who left this out? Who left out the fact that there was an entire legacy of Alberts that were an important factor in space exploration and rockets, who sacrificed their lives to make this happen? And you know, the question I ask myself is just, who was in charge of making the parachutes? Who let 4 of them die because of parachute failure? You know, if the rocket exploded after leaving the atmosphere, that's one thing. But the fact that you didn't learn through 4 monkey rocket explorations how to fix the parachute? And I mean, there's probably a lot of science to space parachute exploration that I'm not even aware of. But all the information is quoted from Wikipedia, so y'all can research it more up on there. But wow. What a read and what a thing to stumble upon. So all I know is whoever wrote this Wikipedia page, you're savage, and this information is quite something else. And so that ends science time, and with that, we're going to go into a little Just Plain Universe update, because it's been a hot minute since I've recorded anything. So we're in the year 2021. Pothead, the local superhero, was supposed to get filmed in 2020, but because of all this pandemic stuff, we are currently on hold. We're crossing our fingers and hoping that this vaccine brings 2021 us able to make more Pothead. In the meantime, I've been exploring into the world of animation. That's right. The Just Plain Universe is working on possibly releasing an animated series later this year, because I can do it from my home and I can get people to record sounds online and get everybody from the community involved in the voice acting. And so why not? Because right now I'm just sitting around not doing a whole lot, if you know what I'm saying. And so that's what's up with the JPU. Plus, we're streaming at Just Plain Cheese on Twitch Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 to 5 in the afternoon, 2 to 4. Depends how busy the day is. But that's what's happening at the Just Plain Universe, and we can't wait to get out there and start filming our larger projects. But until this pandemic and everything is under control, we got to do our part to keep us, you, the crew, and the community safe. And so hold on with us there, and we'll get to it eventually. No questions asked. And so once again, thank you all for your support. All the growth in 2020 was absolutely phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what 2021 has in store for us. And overall, should be a lot of fun. So thank you for all your guys' help. Smash that subscribe button for all the gaming content and comedic stuff that you could ever ask for. And I will see you guys next week. So catch you later.